Imagine a tiny person being given a responsibility so huge that even the strongest people in the world would struggle
That is
to
the
carry it.
basic idea behind The Lord of the Rings. But instead of thinking of it only as a fantasy story, think of it as an
The One
analogy
Ring
for
can
the biggest
represent
battle we
power,
all face.
temptation, or a problem that slowly takes control of the person who possesses it. The strange thing about the ring is that everyone wants to use it for a good reason, but the more power they have, the more likely the power is to control
This is
them.
similar to real life. Money, influence, fame, technology, or authority can all be useful tools.
But when we become obsessed with controlling them, they can eventually begin controlling us. Frodo represents the ordinary person who suddenly has to carry an extraordinary burden. He isn't the strongest warrior. He isn't the wisest wizard. He doesn't even want the responsibility. And that is what makes him important. Sometimes, the person who succeeds isn't the person who wants power the most. Sometimes it is the person who understands that power itself is dangerous. Samwise represents something different. Loyalty. Frodo is the person carrying the burden. Sam is the friend who refuses to let him carry it alone. That is an important lesson. A difficult journey becomes more survivable when someone believes in you, even when you stop believing
Then there
in
is
yourself. He is seen as the mentor, the person who understands the danger before everyone else does. A good mentor doesn't simply solve your problems. Instead, they prepare you to face problems yourself. Aragorn represents another idea. Leadership isn't about wanting a throne. True leadership is accepting responsibility when everyone else needs someone to step forward. And then we have Gollum, perhaps one of the most powerful analogies in the entire story. Gollum shows what happens when obsession is allowed to consume a person for too long. He once had a normal life, but his desire for the ring slowly became more important than everything else. So Gollum is a warning. The things we desperately want can sometimes change us into someone we no longer recognize. Mordor, meanwhile, can represent the destination we fear reaching, the place where our biggest problems must finally be confronted. And the journey to Mount Doom shows something important. The hardest part of defeating a problem is often simply continuing when you are exhausted. Frodo doesn't succeed because the journey is easy. He succeeds because he keeps moving forward. The Fellowship itself is another analogy. Different people with different personalities can still unite around one purpose. They argue, they fail, they become separated, but their shared mission keeps bringing the story back to one question. What are you willing to sacrifice to protect something greater than yourself? And perhaps that is why The Lord of the Rings has remained so powerful. Underneath the magic, battles, monsters, and kingdoms, it is really a story about ordinary people facing extraordinary pressure. It tells us that power can corrupt,
Friendship can give us strength, and courage doesn't mean being fearless. Courage means continuing forward even when you're afraid, tired, and unsure of the outcome. So, if we look at The Lord of the Rings as an analogy for life, the ring is the temptation. Frodo is the person carrying the burden. Sam is the friend who stays. Gandalf is the mentor. Aragorn is responsible leadership. And Mordor is the difficult challenge we cannot avoid forever. And the journey reminds us of one simple truth. Sometimes, the greatest victory is simply refusing to give up.
I'm alright. I'm not hurt. You should be dead. Let's be able to skewer the wild boar.
I think there's more to this.